So then if I have exponents and polynomials. So what I wanted to show last time was how to add and subtract polynomials. And I had parentheses 2x squared minus x plus 4, right? And then close parenthesis minus, and then parenthesis negative 2x squared plus 5x plus 6, close parenthesis. So what I want to note with the red arrow is that there's a minus in front of the second parenthesis. So that's like a -1 multiplying the whole thing. So do not forget the distributive rule of the -1 as well, right? Because when we are expanding that, removing the parentheses of the second part, a lot of times we forget and just change the sign of the first guy and forget to change the signs of the other ones. So that's just a reminder that you have a minus in front of the second set of parentheses. You have to do minus with minus, so that's a plus, and then minus with 5x, that's a -5. And then minus with 6, that's a -6. Is that okay? Like sources, are you guys with me? And then I remove the
I'm
parentheses.
hearing the rules. I just don't understand why. It's just kind of like my brain always wants to know why. How was that figured out? But it's more of just
-1 times negative what?
So you're saying that if it's a negative in the little in between the parentheses and it reverses the other ones, so if it's negative inside the parentheses, it becomes positive, and if it's positive, it becomes negative?
Yeah, reverses the sign of everything that comes afterwards.
Okay.
Because
Why?
it's like multiplying by -1. Right? If you say, how much is 2 times -1?
-2.
Right. But what about -2 times -1? How much is that?
3.
No, -2 times -2 multiplied by -1. You get +2 back, right? Because we say minus with minus gives a plus, right? So -1 times -2 gives a +2. So
Right.
when I have a minus here, what it means is like a -1 times a -2x squared. So it gives me a +2x squared. Yeah, so yeah, thank you. The next slide says, don't forget the distributive rule. So when I have a minus sign in front of the parentheses, it's kind of like the -1 multiplying everything. So the -1 goes to each one of the 3 terms inside the second parenthesis.
Would it help to do the whiteboard for this?
Yeah, we can do a whiteboard. I can do a whiteboard of a smaller thing. Yeah, let me do a whiteboard of a smaller example, maybe. X plus 5. Yeah. Minus squared plus 2. And then plus 1. That's it, right? So this is equal to, so I still have the x plus 5. I just leave it as x plus 5. And then here, what I'm saying is this guy here, this is like a -1 multiplying the whole parenthesis, x squared plus 2. And then this little +1 at the end, right? So here, this guy here becomes minus x squared. And then what I'm saying is don't forget the distributive rule. You have to go this one and this one. So it has to be -2.
So -1 times x squared would be -x squared, and -1 times 2 would be -2.
Right. Right. So now I have x plus 5 minus x squared minus 2, and then +1 here, this guy here. So this guy is +1. And then when adding and subtracting polynomials, we can only add and subtract same powers of stuff. So this is guy, I change colors. I'm too stupid to change. Oh, I can change color. This guy here, he's the only one that has an x squared, right? So he goes alone. So it's just going to be -x squared right? And then x, how many x's do I have? I only have this guy as an x. So he goes plus x. And then I add all the numbers up, right? I have this number here. I have this number here. I have this number here. So that's 5 minus 2 plus 1, that's 4, right? So this is my answer. Minus x squared plus x plus 4. Yeah, when we say add and subtract these, this is what I get. Is that okay? So what I show here, after I expanded, I like the gray ones, the highlighted with gray are numbers, so I can add them up. So that gives me -2, the last term, yeah, at the bottom. And then the yellow ones are the ones that are multiplying x. So I have -5x with -5x. I add them up, I get -10x. And the ones I circled are the x squared. So I have 2x squared plus 2x squared. I end up having 4x squared. So we can add and subtract similar terms. That's it. And by similar terms, I mean, hey, the powers of x need to be the same, yeah, for them to be considered similar terms.